transistor spread provides the vitamin B1 your family needs daily. Be sure you put Vegemite next to the pepper and salt whenever you set the table.
These are the transistors I bought from the club yesterday, and one of these belongs in here. So, and the other ones are for the other transistor version, and we'll go through all those and check them out one by one. I know at least one is dead, so we'll replace that one first, and then we'll do this radio first, because we know this one works. It's just the lead or the leg that has corroded through halfway. So I'll work out which is the correct transistor for this radio here, and we'll go from there. Right, I've sorted out the transistors and I've connected up this, so we'll see which one is which. Okay, so we have the red is the base, the green is collector, and blue is the emitter. So I'll just write that down, and so I don't forget and get them confused. I'll just tack these in temporarily, just in case this particular transistor, I should say, is not compatible or doesn't perform correctly or something like that. I do have an alternative in a OC 71, I think is the other equivalent. Pete didn't have any 2SB 54s, so this is a 2SB 71. Right, so let's power it up and see what is happening. One of the problems with working on multiple radios at the same time is you can't remember which is which and what goes where. I think I've got this connected up properly, so this is the one that goes to, actually I can connect it onto there, and I think from memory the positive goes to the earth. Yes. Okay, so we're back to life again. Sort of. That's the next thing to do, is to lubricate the tuning.
As best I can tell, Wes Healy's scored a few hundreds, but as far as the most hundreds, Sophie Devine also has had 4. So Grace Harris flying her way up the tree as well. On strike on 99, and only Edgar will bowl from the fig tree end. And then you will task of bowling to Grace Harris, see if she can get the breakthrough here. Like say 1 gets 2. Just if we could bring the 6th one. Harris taps her bat, waits here for Edgar, and she's playing and missing. The slider outside the off stump.
Well, that's this one back to normal. what I'll do is I'll take it outside and I'll spray some zinc on this, I think, or yeah, definitely down here where it's really rusted. But I'm trying not to spend too much time or money on these radios, because this one cost me about $4 or something ridiculous. So none of them cost more than $10. Right, so I'll be back once I've done the zinc paint. So that will need a couple of coats. I really don't know why they put this plate over this. Seems a bit strange. So that went there. Yeah, maybe it was just a trim piece to stop people poking things in, or I don't know. Or, I do have some gold paint which I'm going to try on the front of this, and then we will put it all back together again, I guess. What I've done since the last recording is to put the switch and a whole bunch of other things inside a rack case, and hopefully some of the noise has dissipated or been attenuated. I can still hear it quite clearly, so I still need to do quite a bit of work to quieten that down. The J-Car fan control which I bought, which is designed for computer fans, etc., doesn't seem to work. It either seems to be full on or off. So I've got to work out what is actually wrong with that, and why has that battery gone again. That is actually plugged in. Interesting. Oh well, we'll work with one camera today, and because I'm in a bit of a hurry, I have to go away. I'm meeting friends, and we're going to Adelaide, and they are going on to the Indian Pacific, which is the train which goes across from Sydney to Perth, and then they're going up to Broome and flying up to Broome, and then they're catching they're driving a car back down from Broome to Perth, then catching the Indian Pacific again across to Sydney, and then they're going up as far north as they can on to Brisbane, and then on up to, I think, is it Cairns or Townsville, the tilt train goes, and then they're coming back down to Brisbane, and then flying back to Melbourne. So they're going to take about 3 months or so to do it. So good luck to them. It's their 40th anniversary, I think. So excuse me, I don't know why I'm so croaky this morning. So I have to get this finished out the way and the video edited. Okay, so where are we? So we have to put this speaker back in again, and is this going to go, which way is it? This way? I'm sure that was over there, or was it up there? That seems to be it. As you can see, I did a bit of a bodge job on the spraying the zinc paint onto this. Let's go on the outside. So what I've done is, well, on the weekend, went down to Melbourne and went into the usual shopping centre to get lunch, and a Spotlight, not a Spotlight, a Lincraft store had opened, and I bought some paint. Now it hasn't, it's come up okay, but I think I need to try a different brush. So it's left the brush marks, but that is okay because that'll give something for the rest of the paint to stick to. This side, I just dried the brush off with that. So I was down here, and yeah, it's come up quite well. So I'm going to do the rest of this. Now, what do we have to do here? So what I'll do is I'll lay it back on its back. Pop, pop, pop. And we'll try and feed in, which I should lubricate those shafts. Put a couple of drops of oil on here. They'll work their way in, and might actually take that off the moment. And feed that into there. That went in much easier than it came out. That must have gone onto here somewhere or another. Was it down there or? I'm not sure. It must have come. I don't know whether you can see that or not. It must have been there because there's a clean spot where that went. Maybe that way? Is this a spacer or something? Now I'm going to make an executive decision and move this. That's better. Yes, the last time I went across to Adelaide was during the pandemic, and I've just lost that washer again, haven't I? And I went to a big auction over there by the South Australian branch, and this time going to visit what is the Electricity Trust of South Australia, or ETSA, and it's an old substation. I should trim those transistor leads off. They would have had jigs for these, but they're still really labour intensive to work on. This is almost turning into one of Tony's solder and chats, isn't it? I do like watching X-Ray Tony, X-Ray Tony B I think it is, and he does a lot of amplifiers and things like that rather than radios. So the badge doesn't look the greatest. Now there was a couple of screws up in there, wasn't there? Now the board has warped over the years and it's just not cooperating. So I don't want to put too much force on it because it might crack the board. Although no. Okay. Now we have this thing. I think this one came from this radio. Yes. So that goes there. But I'm not going to put this in because I've got to wait for the 3D printer and print the end caps for the case. So I'll just put the case back on again. This little one seems to have come from down here, and there isn't a spacer. There isn't a spacer down here. So we'll try this one. This definitely had a washer on it. I think this is the screw. Right, that's it. And so one of these ones must have been down here. These self-tappers. I think I'll get another washer. I wish I could find the ad on eBay for the person who was selling this type of screw, the slot screw. This one is just going to, it's a little bit big. Now, it was pretty rusty by the looks of the video and my photos, so this may have been it, but this doesn't seem long enough. Huh. Just long enough. I suppose they didn't want it to stick out from the bottom too much. Battery holder, we'll just toss this in here. That needs probably a good clean up. Normally don't have so much trouble with screws and things, but I've yeah, that it's going to grip. Yep, that's it. I also have to find a source of these dual gang controls. What about 3 radios which need those? And the shafts on the push off, pull on ones which I bought a couple of months ago, they're not long enough. So, and there wasn't any I could get from anywhere else at the time. Right. So here's our negative, which I think went down here. So go across, yep.
I was a kid, yeah.
Let me give you some feedback here, by the way. Andy's got this. He was super in the Welsh series Stella. I really love that, still do.
So it's actually sounding pretty good.
Sam is saying we did see this production last year. It was absolutely wonderful. Definitely the best version of A Christmas
Now
Carol
that's
I've seen,
back in its
although it is a market version.
baffle. So I'm just going to tweak it up. I'm not going to do a full alignment on this at this stage because I don't have the time.
It is on stage at the Comedy Theatre from the beginning of November. In fact, Charlie Cullen's got this. My God, listen to this man read any standard interaction at a service station or at Vic Roads. That's from Charlie. Thanks so much for coming in. In a moment, I'll get back to your calls.
What sound does a Mikey make when you tap on? Beep. What if you got no money on your card? Beep, beep. That's the worst. But you know what's the best? Breakfast and trains. I'm doing a series of broadcasts from Melbourne train stations, and the first stop is Clayton. I'll be there meeting you, learning about the area, and helping you safely onto your train. And metaphorically, I mean, I'll still have a job to do, so you know.
Breakfast with Sammy J.
On ABC Radio Melbourne and the ABC Listen app. Live from Clayton Station this Thursday, 5:30 till 8 o'clock.
You're with Ralph Epstein on ABC Radio Melbourne.
So we're sending some sort of extra military contingent to the Middle East. What do you make of that? 1300 222 774. I mean, Cycle joined us earlier, and Emeritus Professor from ANU. He was basically saying, look, we need a bit more of an explanation of that. We have joined the US in, I think, every war the US has asked us to join them in. Since going back to Korea. Or is that a dramatisation and escalation of our concerns that is not necessary? Give me a call on 1300 222
Well, it seems to be fairly well aligned, actually.
With Richard Willingham about the cartoon of the Premier. Jacinta Allen was depicted naked by the Herald Sun's Mark Knight yesterday. It was a play on the Emperor's New Clothes. Interesting text here. Bernie sent it. I googled Emperor's New Clothes cartoons. Not a particularly original theme, as it turns out. There are 1,540 pages of them, in fact. Many of them feature politicians. Trump is a regular subject, but also Justin Trudeau, Xi Jinping, Tony Blair, Putin, numerous US politicians.
So this is that cover, and I don't think there's any more screws that we need to worry about. So I'm going to put it back in its cabinet now. What I might do is temporarily put some wires through. If I can connect it up to something. Actually, that shouldn't hit the back of the case. So this will be the positive, which will feed out through here. Is that going to? Sure, that's going to hit something. There's a clean. And where's a black one? Right. And we'll just test this. And
given the issue that vaping and e-cigarette use is among young people, and you know what they think of it, what they know, what they don't know, how easy they find it, how they're getting their hands on these products, how they're using these products. So all of those behaviours, knowledge and attitudes around these products, because
and I'll just pop the screws in the bottom. So maybe it's been in and out too many times. I just want one to, yeah, that is holding. Okay.
What's the solution, Alicia, as part of the Cancer Council? I wonder if regulation is going to work. Federal government's going to ramp up, you know, they're going to ban a whole lot of them, but I mean, you know, we've got a problem right now with illicit tobacco. I mean, it's flooding the market. Is regulation going to make a difference?
Well, you know, in terms of tobacco, those tobacco products are on the market, and you know, some of the measures that have been brought in around
I'm just going to get a cup of tea and we'll polish up this front to see if it does actually polish it up. It's got a number of scratches in it. It's also, I don't know whether you can see that, but the volume is not aligned properly and it's worn out this plastic. So I'll be back in a moment.
With you in Melbourne, Nick Healy, your co-host this morning, joining you from ABC Shepparton. This text is from Kate in Preston. It says, breakfast cereal was strictly a holiday food in our family.
This is working pretty well, actually.
And my goodness, could those boys whip through a bowl of a box of Cocoa Pops in the school?
And I've got the lights on, so we're not going to get very good reception, but I've stolen the knobs off the other radio. Right, so it's getting stuck there. I think it needs re-stringing. So it goes a bit of the way, but
It's alarming to me to think that there is going to be an influx of more products out on the market that are being sold to us as breakfast foods. As you guys said, when you walk through the supermarket aisle, breakfast foods are so heavily marketed, whether it's to kids through colourful packaging, characters on the front of cereal boxes, placed just at the right height for children to reach them as they're walking through the supermarket with their parents. And as adults, we're not immune to it either. Breakfast cereals are marketed to us as healthy and the ideal way to start our day. So I can't even imagine what's going to happen on the front of packs of the on-the-go convenient snack foods.
no breakfast. What does that look like?
I had a quick look at the website, the Kellanova website, to see what they talked about with On The Go, and the things that popped up, the products that popped up were their cereal bars. So these bars are based on some common cereals that you probably recognise, but glued together basically with multiple forms of sugar and served to you as a breakfast.
That's just a bit of dust. Okay, so I just need to make a couple of these. Bring this over a bit. It's a bit scratched. You don't notice that. This is just the lights bringing everything up, highlighting it. Yes, it just needs the covers for here, which I'll have to 3D print.
I'm thinking more about my kids actually, like my family. Because I've always been quite aware of how much sugar is in cereal, it became just a real kind of treat thing. So when we go away on holidays, we buy.
It's not the most sensitive radio,
Fruit Loops and Cocoa Pops and stuff, and just say, okay, kids.
but it's pretty
go
good.
for it, but this is only while we're on
This
holiday.
is pretty scratched still, but it has polished up.
I think there should be more information, Kate, and not just for kids. I guess maybe even as an adult, for the cereal for adults as well.
Okay, I'm going to go. So don't forget to do all the right things. Thanks for my recent subscribers, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that sort of jazz. And I'll have to very quickly edit this up and throw it up on the internet because I'm leaving in about 4 hours. So I'll probably do a couple of videos on from Adelaide or somewhere along the way. I'm dropping them off and they're catching the train, and then I'm sort of ambling back slowly. So direct drive over and a pretty quick, pretty quick drive over and fairly slow amble back. So I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
All over Australia, our baby health centres, clinics and day nurseries are doing wonderful work for young mothers and young Australians. Here is a typical scene at a baby health centre. Here are the mothers with their children, all seeking and about to get friendly and expert advice. Perhaps young Johnny here cries too much at night, keeps Dad, Mum and the neighbours awake. Whatever can Mum do about it? Or Susie has hives. Is it because of something she ate? What's the best thing to put on those spots? Young Albert, all of a sudden, he doesn't like his milk anymore. He spills it, pushes it away, and just picks at his food, too. This is Albert's first visit here, and his mother is worried. He has never done anything like that before. Let's listen in on this conversation. We may get some good advice.
Yes, that sometimes happens with children. Now, I suggest you mix a little Vegemite in with his milk and give him Vegemite spread on bread and butter. Most children adore Vegemite, and it's good for them from the age of 5 months or even younger.
That sister was right. Albert's got his appetite back with a vengeance. And see how he laps up his milk now. Vegemite is recommended so highly for children because it is rich in vitamin B1, which stimulates the appetite, vitamin B2, which is essential for sturdy growth, and niacin, the anti-pellagra factor for clear, healthy skin. Yes, Vegemite is a great food, and so tasty. Not only for the kiddies, but for all your family. And remember, Vegemite is not only tastier, but it costs less. So always ask for Vegemite, made by Kraft.